right, here we go. This is our last lesson for the year. So in this section, we're learning about tangent lines. So what a tangent line, right here, this pink line, is a line that is tangent to the circle. And what that means is it touches the circle in exactly one spot. So that point B right there, that is the one spot that that line is touching the circle. And that point is called the point of tangency. Okay? So there's a property that goes along with that. So if we have a line tangent to a circle, such as this one over here, so we got the pink line is the tangent line, P is the point of tangency in this case. So when I draw in the radius on this one, so when I draw in the radius right here from O to P, what happens is the radius will be always perpendicular to the tangent line. So what that means then is I can go ahead and I can draw in a right angle right here. So any tangent line is going to be perpendicular or form a right angle to a radius. So if I drew another tangent line over here, okay, it's touching the circle right there at that point. Okay, so then if I draw in my radius to the point of tangency, what happens then is that that is a right angle right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that does for us. So in these two examples here, the first one I have in black there is a triangle. And so one thing that we need to remember is the triangle sum theorem is that angles in a triangle add up to 180, right? So the tangent line is right here with DE. Okay, they just, they kind of just stopped it there at point D. But we could say that DE is a tangent segment to this circle. So what that means then is I can go ahead and here's a radius OD. So that means I can put a right angle right here. So now what that tells me is that this black triangle is a right triangle. So all of those angles add up to 180. Well, I've already used 90. And down here I've already used 38. So whatever is left there would give me, what is that, 52, I think? So this angle up here would be 52 degrees, okay? This one over here, we're going to use the idea of, we have a four-sided figure there. So quadrilaterals, right, add up to 360 degrees. Remember we made that chart and pentagons were 540, hexagons were 720, and so on. So four-sided figures are 360. So I've got 360. In this quadrilateral, I've already used 117 degrees, okay? And then if we take a look here, this segment LM would be a tangent line. So what that means then is that this would be a right angle with radius OL. Same thing over here with this one. So MN is going to be a tangent line to that circle. And so therefore radius ON would be perpendicular. Okay, so now I know two more angles inside of my quadrilateral. So subtract 90, and whatever we have left will be our angle X. Okay, and I'll go ahead and do that and put that on the PDF for you guys. These two examples here, we want to know if the line is tangent. So if it is tangent, we would know then that this would be a right angle. Well, that can't be a right angle unless these three sides, 7, 24, and 25, are a Pythagorean triple, or do they follow the Pythagorean theorem? So you guys could get out your Module 10 notes and look at the Pythagorean triples, or you could do the Pythagorean theorem with these numbers and see if it ends up being equal. So does that work? And in this case, what would we have? We would have 49 plus, I'll do it and then I'll put it on there just for time's sake here. But this one should end up being equal. So this one would be, yes, it would be tangent. It would have a right angle here, okay? So on this one, again, I could check my Pythagorean triple list for 36, 48, 60. And if it is there, great, our answer would be yes. If not, then we would need to go ahead and do the Pythagorean theorem and see if it works. Okay, I'll do this one real quick here. So 36 squared plus 48 squared. So we get 3,600 there. And then if I do 60 squared, I get 3,600. So this one is also equal. So this one would also be yes. So if it ended up being not equal, then that would mean it does not follow the Pythagorean theorem, and therefore it would not be tangent. Okay? All right. So the next example here says that if we have two lines that are tangent, so like right here, so segment AB is tangent to circle O, and segment CB is tangent to circle O. So what that tells me, if these two segments meet at one spot up here, is that this piece and this piece are the same. So like if this was 7 inches, this would be 7 inches. Okay. I also call it like a cone head or a waffle cone. You wouldn't want your cone to be disproportionate. So you'd want these to be the same. Otherwise your ice cream scoop will fall out. Okay. So on this one, what we can do here is if this piece from X to P is 15, well, then I could make an ice cream cone right here. So these two would be the same. So that would be a 15 as well. Down here, if I know that this piece is 17, well, then again, I make another ice cream cone right there. So that one would be 17. Okay. Now, I don't know either, I don't know this piece or this piece. However, up here, it did tell me that the perimeter was going to be 88. So 15 plus 15 plus 17 plus 17 plus blank, and I know that's going to have to equal 88. Okay, so 15 and 15, 30, and 34 is 64. So 64 plus what makes 88. So then if I subtract the 64 to the other side, then I would get 24 equals what plus what. And we know these two pieces have to be the same. So that means that those two pieces are going to be 12s. All right, so XQ would be 12 and QY would be 12. All right. Down here on this example, it says find the perimeter of the whole thing. So I know this whole side is 25. So 25 plus, I know this side over here is 18. All right, plus, now I don't know what this side over here is. So we got to figure that out. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is work our way around the circle here. So if this piece is 8, then making an ice cream cone right here, this piece would also be 8. All right. Making my ice cream cone here would be a 10, and this piece would be a 10. So if the entire side over here is 25, and if this piece is 10, well, then that would mean that this has to be 15. And again, making my little ice cream cone here, so if that piece is 15, then this piece here would also be 15. So now I should know the entire side here is 8 and 15, which would be 23. All right, so now I can add those guys together and have my perimeter. Okay, so that's all our information about tangents. Now on to equations for circles. So here's the general formula right here. Okay. And H and K there in red are going to be the X and Y value of the center of the circle. And then this number on the end here after the equal is going to be whatever the radius is squared. Okay. All right, so here's some examples here. So on the first example here, I know the center is at 3, 5. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, all right, so I'm just filling in here. So X minus is part of the formula. And then the H is the X value of the center. So in this one, we have a 3 there. So it's going to be X minus 3. And then don't forget the little square. On the homework, it's going to be multiple choice. So you just got to pick which one matches there. And then Y minus. And then 5 is the Y value of my center. So I just put a 5 in there. and then don't forget the square again, equals, and then the radius squared. So my radius is 4, so 4 squared would be a 16. Okay, and then that would be the equation for the circle. Just like, do you guys remember when we were doing, you've done equations for lines in like 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, so y equals mx plus b? Well, this is the general formula for a circle. Okay. All right, here's another example. So on this one, it would be x minus, now on this one, I have -2 for my x value. So when I put in -2 there, what ends up happening is minus a negative turns into plus a positive. So plus 2, okay? And then y minus, and then the y value of my center is at 4, so the 4 would go there, all right? And then equals, radius is 3, so 3 squared would be 9. What a lot of kids do is they just put a 3, or sometimes they do 3 times 2, which is 6, but it's radius squared, so 3 times 3. Oh, and I forgot this little square there, didn't I? All right. Next example here. So this one I know the center, so I go ahead, x minus, and then it's a -2, which turns into plus a positive 2, so it'll be x plus 2 squared. And then y, so on this one then it would be y minus, and again I have a -2. All right, so that would turn into plus a positive 2, and I think I screwed up over here, so I think this was supposed to be a -1, right? So I'll fix that real quick. All right, so this would be plus 1. Now on this one, it did not give me the radius, so what I have to do here is I have to plot the points. So the center was -1, -2, and on your homework, you're gonna have to do this. So you might have to just make it like a quick sketch like this, and go -1, -2, and plot a point. And do it that way. So this is the center of the circle, and then 3, -2, that's the circle goes through that, so it's going to look something like this, okay? So what that then is telling me is the radius. So if this is the center and it goes through here, well then I know my radius is 1, 2, 3, 4. The radius would be 4, so I put 4 squared, which is 16 over there, okay? All right, next example here. So on this one, it says to graph the circle. So because this is, the general formula is x minus h, well then that means that 4 is just the x value. And then the formula is y minus k. So again, that would mean that just 2 is the y value there. And then what squared makes 9? What squared makes 9? 3. So the radius would be 3. And then we would go ahead and graph it. So I would go 4, 2. So that's my center of my circle. And then if the radius is 3, then from the center I just go out 3. So 1, 2, 3. I go up 3, out 3, and down 3. And again, on the homework, it's multiple choice, so you can just look at their examples. And then I would connect those points, and there's my circle. Okay? Here's another example. So on this one, again, the general formula is x minus. So what happened here is that the h would have had to have been a -3. A -3. So that means that -3 over here is the x value of my center. And then, again, the general value is y minus. So on this case, it was just a normal 4. All right? So just a normal 4. And if 25 is the radius squared, well then the radius would have to be 5 because 5 squared is 25. All right, and then again we would plot it. So left 3, up 4, radius is 5, so we go ahead and up 5, over 5, and so on. And then I can bring in my circle. Oops, I think I'm off by one up here. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Anything else, oops, here that we need to cover? Oh, one more here. So this one, I just find the center of my circle. So the center of my circle is down here. So that would be -4, -3. And I go ahead and plug that in here. And then I just count. So the radius would be 3. So the radius here would be 3 squared.